Assalamu alaikum. My dear students, how are you? Today our lesson, inshallah, is about the distribution channels. If you remember, we talk about the marketing mix. There is the 4 P's. We talk about the product and the price, and there's also the place and the promotion. Our lesson today is about the place or the distribution. When we talk about the distribution channels, we are talking about the place. Okay, so it is about how the goods reach the consumers, from the producer or the manufacturer to the consumer. This is the distribution. So the channel that the product reaches to the targeted customer, this is the channel or the distribution channel. In the economic way, the channel or the distribution channel is the function of the product and the target customer. Yani choosing the channel, the suitable channel, depends on the product itself and the features of the product, the size of the product, the value of the product, and so on, and also the customer. Okay, so what is the placement? As you know, products need to be available to the consumers. Okay, so there is maybe from the stores, as you see from this yellow picture, consumers can have these products from the store. They can buy it from the store. All the product may be delivered. Yani the customer can have the product through delivery service. There is some components of placement, like selecting the distribution channel and developing it and managing the distribution channel, and we will talk about these in details, and also physically distributing goods through these channels. These are the components of the placement. There is also the degree of placement, which can be intensive, selective, exclusive, integrated. For example, intensive means it's available everywhere, like products like Coca-Cola, or washing powders like Persil, Ariel, or soups like Palmolive, Camay, whatever. This is intensive product or placement, like they are available everywhere. You can buy it from every place. Selective means that you select some places or distribution channels, like, for example, high or expensive watches or perfumes or so on. They are not available in any place. They have some specific places that can find suitable consumers. Exclusive, that means that there's only one buyer or one channel, one distributor who are contracted with the producer to exclusively sell these products. And finally, integrated, which means that the producer himself is responsible for distributing or buying his products. Like if you see, for example, the Apple stores or Huawei stores or Xiaomi stores. So in this case, in the integrated placement, the producer himself is responsible for the buying or delivering the product to the customers. So why the need for distribution channels? First, the creation of time and place utility. The innovative products that makes products easily accessible to the customers, ensures contractual efficiency, smooth and market services, bridges the gap between manufacturer and the consumer, and the important link in the sales process. So the place, which is one of the 4 B's or the marketing mix, as we said: the product, the promotion, the placement, and the price. So product distribution is probably the most difficult step to set up among these 4Ps. Why? Because it takes a lot of time and a significant amount of energy to build and optimize a distribution channel by delivering a product to customers, the product that customers really want, and also choosing the location and deliver product in a suitable time. Let's talk about each one in details. For the product, for example, the way products are delivered to the customers is of a great importance. So sometimes companies like Apple and Tesla prefer to take matters in their own hands. As we said, they choose their own stores like Apple stores or showrooms like Tesla and so on. So they directly contact with the customers. Also about the location, a product needs to be positioned at a place where its target customers are likely to find it. If I am buying, the producer is buying an expensive brand or product like Prada or Chanel or Gucci or any expensive product, they have to choose the best location that suits the customer and available for them. They cannot buy these high value brands in popular bazaars or so on. So they have to choose the location carefully. And about the time, another important trait of great distribution channels is that they deliver the product at the right time when the customers want them. But at the same time, companies need to be efficient with the amount of inventory they keep on stock, as it is costly. So that's why the distribution is or the placement or choosing the distribution channel is one of the most difficult for these. So distribution, now we have the distribution, and the channel distribution includes a wide range of activities associated with the efficient movement of finished products from the manufacturer to the end consumer. Distribution also includes a wide range of activities associated with the efficient movement of finished products from the manufacturer to the end consumer. The channel is a pipeline through which a product flows on its way to consumers. So this is a distribution and this is the channel. So a manufacturer puts his product into this pipeline, and various marketing elements in the chain move it along to the consumer at the other end of the channel. So we have many types of marketing channels. We have first the direct selling, which is from the producer to the consumer directly. This is a direct selling, and there is two types of indirect selling, which is one of them through seller and one through wholesalers and retailers. The second one, the producer to the retailer, then to the consumer, which is like retailer like Korzinka, Makro, and whatever. And there is the producer from the producer to the wholesaler, then to the retailer, then to the consumer. Now you can imagine what is the wholesaler. It is like the retailer, but in a bigger size, that takes from the producer and distribute to the many retailers, and then from the retailers to the consumer. So as you can see here, more obviously, there is the distribution channel from the manufacturer to the wholesaler, then to the retailer, then to the consumer, or from the manufacturer to the retailer, then to the consumer. Retailers are like stores, as we said, and there is the direct one from the manufacturer to the consumer. You can see it also from this picture, these stages. So let's talk first about the first one, the direct channel. Direct channel, as we said, from the producer to the consumer directly. Product goes right from the producer to the consumer in this stage. Popular for this way is popular for service-based business. If we talk about hospitality and tourism and so on, this is usually what we use, the direct channel from the producer of the service to the consumer directly. So restaurants, for example, make the food and sell it right to the consumers, like KFC or Domino's Pizza or Pizza Hut or so on. So some producers also own the retail outlets to sell their products, which is, as we said, in the integrated distribution. So this guarantees quality and services. Okay, so this is also called the zero level channel. Zero level channel because there is no intermediary between the manufacturer or the producer and the customers in the direct channel. A distribution system, this is direct distribution, is a distribution system is said to be direct or zero level when the product or service reaches the customer directly from the producer with no middlemen involved. Okay, it is suitable when the goods are to be distributed in a selected market, when the goods to be supplied are costly and after-sale services is necessary. This is when we can use this strategy. Direct distribution channels may also be used when the manufacturer desires to have effective control on the entire market mechanism. And it is also it is not suitable for wide markets. Okay. Then we have the indirect channels. Indirect channels use intermediaries between the producer and the customer. These take possession of goods, add markup, and then resell them to the consumer. So there is three major types of intermediaries. We have the importers, is also an indirect channel. Importers negotiate and exclusive distribution deal with foreign manufacturer or distributor. We have also the wholesaler, which buy the products from domestic sources and resell them to retail stores or other businesses. Then we have the retailers, which they sell the goods to ultimate consumers, the right merchandise for the right price at the right time in the right place, providing the right quantities. So as we see, we have two examples of the indirect channels. One uses the wholesaler and the importer, and then the retailer to the customer, and one from the producer to the retailer to the customer. So let's talk about the retailers, then about the wholesalers. The retailers, according to Philippe Kotler, retailing includes all activities involved in selling goods to the final consumers for personal and non-business use. The features of retail: that the purpose of retailing is to provide goods and services at the right place and the right time. Retailing is the final step in distribution of product, merchandise for consumption by end users. It can also be defined as the first point of customer contact. As we said, when you go to the supermarket and buy these final products. So it's called also the one-level channel. One-level channel. In the one-level channel, the goods move from manufacturers to retailers and then to the consumers. So the manufacturer keeps close contact with retailers and supplies goods regularly for onward distribution to the consumers. The manufacturer maintains a huge sales network of supplying goods regularly to the retailers. This channel is used for the distribution of consumer goods and durable products. Okay, the retailing or one-level channel is suitable or used for distribution of consumer goods and the durable products. The functions of a retailer, as you see, there is many functions. First, the assortment. Assortment, which means retailers stock thousands of products from different manufacturers. They offer a wide selection of brands and sizes and prices. There's also holding inventory. Retailers hold the inventory of manufacturer or the stock of the product. They also hold inventory in preferred sizes for customers as and when they need them. They also provide services. Retailers provide services such as display and home delivery of products, various payment options such as credit, cash on delivery, card swipe on delivery. There is the breaking bulk, which means manufacturers package and ship in larger quantities and consumers buy in smaller quantities. This is a breaking the bulk. So retailers offer product in smaller quantities. Channel of communication. Retailers also act as a channel of communication between the manufacturer and the customer. They understand the buying behavior and loyalty patterns of customers. As if you go to the supermarket, you can find some promotions or advertisement for some products and so on. So this is the retailer also act as a channel of communication. Also the function of the time, place, and ownership utility. As for time, the favorable store timing on online store, place, which is convenient store location or home delivery, ownership as customer pays for and owns the product. So this is the function of the retailers. What about the wholesalers? Wholesalers typically operate out of the main markets in a city and deal with a large number of companies' products. So they usually have their own shops in busy trading areas. Their business depends on large volumes of products because their margins are considerably low. In some cases, wholesalers engage in malpractices, such as managing their margins by selling empty cases, cartons, in boxes in which the products must be received. This is called the two-level channel. So we saw the zero-level channel, the direct channel or distribution, and then the one-level channel using only the retailer between the manufacturer and the consumer. And this is the two-level channels, which includes the wholesaler, then the retailer. So the manufacturer uses services of two levels of middlemen, wholesalers and retailers. The wholesaler maintains close contact with the retailers, and retailers maintain close contact with the customers. So this channel is suitable for a large-scale distribution of consumer goods. So products that need strong promotional support are distributed through this channel because middlemen help promote sales. For example, for the FMCGs, if you remember, the fast-moving consumer goods, such as soups, detergents, or cereals, and are sold through their channel of distribution. What is the characteristics of wholesalers? They choose and decide which product to sell. They are not in contractual agreement with any company. Their customers are other wholesalers or retailers and institutions, not directly to the consumers. They negotiate for credit from distributors and for special privileges on making purchase requests more than once a week through the PEAT plan of the distributors, maybe one visit a week. They extend credit terms for loyal customers. So the functions of the wholesalers, there is the selling function. How do they do it? By acting as extension of the producer's sales force, seek supply sources and reduce the producer's need for sales personnel. Also stocking function, they reduce the producer's need for carrying large inventories and investing in warehousing or stock places. Also the financing functions, as they reduce the producer's warehousing cost, reduce the producer's commitment to working capital. The producers receive payment for goods before they are sold to the users. So they have a very important financing function. Also the function of the market information. Wholesalers maintain closer contact with end users, which gives better market information and reduces need for market research. Finally, the risk reduction functions. How the wholesalers reduce the risk. They provide credit sales to the customers. They take the risk of carrying inventory. They order in advance, helping the producers even out production scheduling. So let's take a comparison between the distributor and the wholesaler. Some of us may confuse between the distributor and the wholesaler, but there is many differences. In the meaning, for example, the distributor is an agent who supplies goods to stores and other businesses, who in turn sell to the consumers. Okay, but the wholesaler is an agent who purchases and sells products in bulk, either from the original supplier or other channel intermediaries charging a margin for his services. So from the first side, the wholesaler is something bigger than the distributor. Also the distributor serves both the retailer and the wholesaler. The wholesaler only serves the respective users. Link between the distributor serves as a link between the manufacturer and the retailer. The wholesaler serves as a link between the producer and distributor. Types of products sold. The distributor may sell similar types of products. The wholesaler generally supplies a wide range of contrasting products, not only similar types of products. Buys from the distributor directly buys products from the manufacturer. The wholesaler, they probably sell the goods to the consumer. The storage of goods, the distributor doesn't store goods but directly distribute them, but the wholesaler is responsible for storing the goods. Okay, so what is the best way to distribute? Direct distribute from the producer to the consumer, or one level distributing using the retailers, two levels using wholesalers and retailers. Let's have a look about the distribution channel management. So the factors of considering what type of channels we use. When selecting a distribution channel, you have to think about who is your consumer, the income level of the consumer, the buying habit of the consumers, many things that we talk about when we talk about the consumer behavior. Also, will the selected channel reach a sufficient number of consumers or not? Is it a reasonable, seasonable or high fashion item? Can the channel become a competitive advantage? Or what if the product custom made? Will the product spoil or not, like the vegetables and the fruits and so on, or it may last for a long time? What is the unit value of the product? How large or heavy the product is? So let's talk about the factors affecting the effective management of distribution channels. Channel management contains many factors like channel design, channel policy, channel conflicts, resolution of these conflicts, also motivating the channel members, selecting the channel partners, evaluating the channels, and channel control. First, designing the channel system. Channel management starts with planning and designing a channel system. During system implementation, a design may be modified, after which final selection of channel members or partners will be performed. Second, there is a channel policy. While developing a channel system, a set of channel policies should be formulated for proper functioning of the channel system. Channel policies partly govern the design of a channel system. These policies are related to many important areas or factors. As we can see, there is 6 major policy areas. There is the market coverage, the channel coverage and services, the product lines, the product pricing, the choice of channels partners, and the choice of the channel partners. Okay. Third, the channel conflicts. In channel conflict, one channel member receives another channel members to be engaged in behaviors or activities that prevent or impede it from achieving its goals. So channel conflict therefore involves disagreement or discord between 2 or more channel members. We have many types of channel conflicts. The vertical level conflict and the horizontal level conflict and the multi-channel level let's talk about everyone. The vertical level conflict, a channel member at one level is in conflict with another member at the next higher or lower level. For example, conflict between manufacturer and its distributors, conflict between a distributor and retailer, conflict between distributor and wholesaler, conflict between wholesaler and retailer. This is the vertical level conflict. Horizontal level conflict, two or more channel members at the same level are in conflict with each other. For example, two wholesalers are in conflict over retailer coverage. Two distributors are in conflict over territory jumping, and two retailers are in conflict over MRP of a particular product or brand for final consumers. Also, there is a multi-channel level conflict in which more than two channels and more than two levels are involved in the conflict. Example, distributors or wholesalers may be in conflict with a manufacturer who is also selling through its own franchise outlet or exclusive showroom in a particular area or market. So channel conflict can be caused by both financial and non-financial reasons, or even because of ego, jealousy, or self-interest. The five main reasons for channel conflict may be a rule of ambiguity, rule incompatibility. Rule ambiguity means some things are not obvious or clear in the relationship. Goal incompatibility, the goal or the objectives are not clear for each channel. The market perception and mismatch, target setting problem or bias, the competitor inducement. The fourth is the conflict resolution. Conflict resolution. We are talking now about the distribution challenge management. So, conflict resolution the conflict as we saw can rise between company and its channels, or among some channels members for various reasons, and these have to be managed or resolved. As conflict resolution is difficult and must be managed in a systematic and sequential manner, 4 steps are commonly followed for conflict resolution to end this conflict. First, understand the nature and intensity of the conflict, determine source of conflict, evaluate the consequences of the conflict, and finally adapt appropriate conflict resolution plan or methods. So the methods, one of the scholars noted, Kenneth Thomas, noted 5 conflict resolution styles ranging from minimum to maximum effort and result. These styles are avoidance, aggression, accommodation, compromise, and collaboration, arranged in increasing order of effort and result. First, the avoidance. To avoid something, which means is used this strategy or method used by weak or disinterested channel members. Solution to the problem or issue causing the conflict is postponed or avoided with no results. The second method is aggression. Aggression means which is used by selfish channel members who are only interested in their personal goals or motives and don't care for others. Accommodation method solves a conflict through surrender, in that one channel member sacrifices its own interests and allows the other party to achieve its goals. Fourth method is the compromise, also called the golden mean. It involves both parties sacrificing a little to each to reach a midway solution. And finally, the collaboration, which is the most professional way of finding a solution. It is a win-win situation or win-win approach that affords maximum benefits to both parties. 5, motivating channel members. Motivating channel members. Motivating channel members may often be a good preventive policy or strategy to avoid channel conflicts. So French and Raven have noted the power of motivation and suggested 5 forms of power that can be used to motivate channel members or improve their performance. For example, the referent power, which is derived from a company's image or recognition because of its preeminent industry or market position. So channel members feel proud to be associated with such companies, and this motivates them. Second method is the expert power, which refers to a company's special skill, ability, or technical knowledge. This gives the company power to impart knowledge and technical skills to channel partners. Third, motivation is the reward power, which refers to a company's willingness or inclination to reward the channel members to motivate them to perform better. Fourth, the legitimate power, which refers to the power or authority a company derives from its contract or agreement with the channel partners like the distributors. And finally, the coercive power, which refers to a company's use of coercion or threats to make channel members perform as expected. So it depends on threatening them. An example for motivating channel members: Hyundai, the Korean car manufacturer, organizes a trip for its dealers every year. So Hyundai Motors India, for example, organizes a dealer incentive trip, or what's called DIT, dealer incentive trip. And also the tourism companies make the same thing, the DIT, dealer incentive trip, for many dealers every year as part of its dealer incentive program. So dealers who perform well during the peak sales period between March and June qualify for this DIT. So DIT, or dealer incentive trip, thus motivates the dealers to perform well in the later half of the year and gives them an opportunity to act with Hyundai's senior management also. In 2016, for example, Hyundai organized a trip to Montreal and Toronto in Canada from 8th to 13th of August. Sixth stage is selecting a channel partner. Sixth stage in the distribution channel management. Selecting a channel partner. Many factors or criteria must be considered or used for shortlisting and finally selecting a channel partner. These four main factors are the market factors, the product factors, the channel factors, and the SWOT analysis. So selection checklist selection may be performed using intuition and judgment, but it is preferable to follow certain guidelines or checklist. Like first, competitive service skills, financial soundness or credibility of the channel partner, the knowledge, the market knowledge, how this partner know the market well, the local presence, the contacts or relationship with customers, the market reputation, and the sales area coverage and selling skills and competence. All these factors, like a checklist, the producer have to make to the before making choosing the channel partner. For example, Marico, an fast-moving consumer products company, expects to use salons as a channel to market and distribute its hair and skincare products. So this company expects to use the beauty salons as a channel, as a place to market and sell and distribute its hair care products and skincare products. So this FMCG, or fast-moving consumer goods company measure, which is called Marico, picked up a 45% stake in Pompei-based startup Bellissimo Professional Products for an estimated 10 rupees crop to focus on the salon distribution channel. This salon distribution greatly differs from traditional distribution channels. In hair care, for example, there is a convergence between the home and the salon. So salons are now a fast-growing channel, greatly influence customers' hair care habits and products, and you can see this and notice this here also in these salons when you find some products sold or distributed in it. The seventh stage in the channel distribution management is the evaluation channel. Evaluation and control are two essential and final steps in the effective management of distribution channel, in management process in general, and in managing of distribution channels. So STEM EL, or STEM is a scholar, EL means and others, suggested 5 measures or criteria for evaluating the performance of channel members. These include 3 basic criteria like effectiveness, efficiency, and equity. Effectiveness is assessed in terms of delivery and stimulation, and efficiency is measured by productivity and profitability. So the control of the channel, finally, the final stage in management of distribution channels. Control is used to keep the operations in line and prevent them from drifting from prescribed norms, standards. So the scope of control can be wide, loose, flexible, fully structured, or rigid. Furthermore, controls can be physical or financial, qualitative or quantitative, formal or informal. Some instruments used for control. These 3 main instruments used by company for control, like the contract or the agreement, the budgets and reports, and the distribution audit. So finally, let's summarize this. Distribution is about getting goods to the consumers, as we said, directly from the distributor, from the producer to the consumer, or on one level, a channel like retailers, or 2 levels like wholesalers and retailers. And we can choose them by according to the cost of distribution, or the nature of the market, or the desired control of marketing. So this is our lesson for today. Hope it was useful and interesting for you. See you next time, inshallah. Thank you, and goodbye, and good luck.